The only thing that could go wrong in spring training for this Phillies team is a notable injury popping to mind, and Bryce Harper just had quite the scare down in Florida. The Phillies star took a pitch on the inside, up and in, and had to leave the game down there in spring training. Quite the scare that this Phillies organization is going through. I want to dive into the latest of what exactly this means and what we know on the current state of the situation. Not many expectations for spring training. This is not the type of baseball that I expect most people to be locked in from start to finish on, but the one thing that cannot happen is a significant injury, and it does feel like we were pretty close to that for this Phillies team. Now, before I dive into everything that I do want to touch on today, do want to remind you guys, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. At this point in time, 71.6% of you guys have not subscribed to the channel just yet. It is almost full-time Phillies season. We want this Phillies Digest family to be as large as possible, so make sure you're hitting that button, and let's get into the topic of today. First, they say that a picture says 1,000 words, and I think that applies to this statement right here. Take a look at this picture. Shout out to Nathan Ray Seebeck for taking this picture of Imagine Images. That is a pretty incredible picture. You can see that baseball hovering right at Bryce Harper's head there, and that is exactly what the Phillies avoided today. This could be a very different tune to this video if things had gone slightly different. We're talking a couple inches in a different direction with Bryce Harper receiving an injury. Luckily, it does seem like we have avoided that. I will give the full context of what Rob Thomson said, but I do want to start off with the actual footage itself here. So a quick clip for the pick, or for the actual hit by pitch here, and to pull it up, we have here from Bryce Harper on the mound, up and in, and hits him right there. You can see immediately the pitcher throwing his hands up, feeling bad about it. I don't think this was anything with any sort of malicious intent, but obviously the scare is the most important part. To play it one more time here, you can see once again the windup, up and in, and bang, hits him. And with that specific video, it was really hard to tell where the ball actually made contact with and what kind of injury risk that does come with. Now, luckily, we did get an update pretty soon after the fact from Rob Thomson, who said that it is a bruised right triceps. Now, for what it's worth, given the context of the situation with that exact play there, we take triceps 10 times out of 10 for the actual outcome there. I thought there was a chance to hit Bryce in the head. I thought it was a chance to up near the neck area. It was really difficult to see with that specific clip, so glad that it is the triceps. Now, to give the full details of what we do have, do want to pull up from Matt Gelb of The Athletic, who says Bryce Harper was hit by a Richard Lovelady pitch. Hard to tell where. His helmet flew off, but it looked like it was right by his right bicep. He immediately came out. Lovelady almost hit Harper with his first pitch too. Harper seems fine. He left the ballpark under his own volition, and it'll be the last time that he makes a Grapefruit League road trip. Should have a more substantial update later. And for what it's worth, he did not just leave the game. He left the whole ballpark. Drove himself right to Clearwater there, and honestly, understandably so. My honest guess is he probably was getting right to a doctor, get checked out, and made sure. But pretty funny visual of Bryce Harper walking right off the field, right to his car, and right down to Clearwater. Now, we did have a couple more updates on it. Once again, it is officially being labeled at this point a bruised right tricep. But to get the quotes from Rob Thomson here, this article from Corey Seidman writes, manager Rob Thomson said the team thinks Harper is fine and not expected to require further imaging. Quote, we'll check him tomorrow, but it's a contusion in the triceps area, he said. We're not really over concerned at all. Harper will not play Thursday, but he was scheduled to have the game off anyway. The Phillies aren't yet at the point in camp where they're playing their regulars back-to-back days, and Thomson wants to start the infielders together, meaning all of Harper, JT Realmuto, Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, and Bryson Stott will not play Thursday after starting Wednesday. Quote, it's early spring training, so guys don't have their command down, Thomson said. There are a bunch of guys hit today. I can't speak for the kid, but maybe he was a little nervous. It's Bryce Harper. It's baseball. And shout out to Thomson for taking the high road here. Again, I don't think there was anything malicious in this. Sometimes things happen. He was trying to go up high and tight and pick his spot, and obviously the ball got away with him a little bit. And to play the clip one more time here and pull it up, you can see once again, look at the immediate reaction from the pitcher. He's frustrated. He's mad. And guess what? This is a reflection of him, too, as he's obviously trying to earn his major league opportunity and prove that he's ready for the next level. But the theme of this and the biggest takeaway is at this point in time, there should not be any sort of long-term concern for Bryce Harper. We've had obviously our bad fears and, the nightmares of him getting hit with a pitch and the injuries that have come. Harper has certainly dealt with plenty of those, been hit in the face, been hit in the head. The dude has been around baseball forever and been through it all. You could see the clear, upset expression in Bryce's face when this immediately went down. But I don't see the guy that's just centered out of fear from him, that he does not want to get hurt. And I forget who threw the pitch a couple of years ago, but this was when he just came back from the hand injury, got hit, and he basically just cursed out. Everyone heard it in the stadium. And it was one of those, I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at the situation. That is what this overall altercation went by. And obviously, glad that there is nothing at least to this point. Now, once again, there could be a very different tune to this video if things were slightly differently. If we're talking about a broken hand on Bryce Harper or anything like that, this season would be off to the nightmare start that we do not want to be the case. But luckily, that seems to be the reality that we have avoided. Now, this also brings me to this point. Spring training, I don't need to see Bryce Harper ever again. You can shut this guy down until the regular season, in my eyes there. I understand Rob Thomson. Obviously, it's really important to get these guys on the same page, playing together, and evaluate what you have. But for me, what spring training should really be used for at this point, we all know who Bryce Harper is. We all know who Nick Castellanos is. We all know who Kyle Schwarber is. Let's find out about the guys that we don't know fully around. I understand you can't hold guys to completely different standards, but to me, what this should be about and the guys that we should be looking to see are guys like Gabriel Rincones Jr., who hit an insane home run today to put the Phillies on the board, his second home run of spring training. That is a guy who is making the most of his spring training opportunity, and those are the guys that Rob Thomson should be trying to take a closer look at. So I understand it is sports, it is baseball, that freak accidents happen and that there is risk every time that you step on the field there. But with that in mind, let's reduce that risk a little bit and give these guys the proper time off. Again, if I don't see Bryce Harper the rest of spring training, I will not be mad about it. That to me, the most important thing is getting him healthy, making sure he is 100% for the grind of the 162 game regular season there. This was not a step in the right direction there, but again, I do think we have avoided the bulk of it. And once again, to just reflect on this picture for how scary that is, look at where that ball is. And again, phenomenal picture here. This is one that I will absolutely be throwing on the thumbnail once I'm done recording this. This is something that's phenomenal there. So very scary moment for Bryce Harper specifically there, but the reality is we continue churning on. This isn't anything that should change the plans from here. It is a sigh of relief. That should be the reaction from the Phillies fan bases. This is something that we should be, breathe in, breathe out. He's okay. Plan is back on track. Now, when reflecting to the actual start of the season, I had an interesting conversation with Luke Arcani. That was over on his Luke and I podcast through Fox Sports The Gambler. But we talked a little bit about what are the X factors for this Phillies season. What do they need to do to get over the top here? And really my answer to him, they need Trey Turner to play like Trey Turner, man. I have full confidence in the world that Bryce Harper will show up when the moment matters most. When that is the outcome, when the stakes are on the line, that is who Bryce Harper is, that he is at his best when the lights are the brightest. But where is this Phillies team's downfall? When we talk so much about them being landlocked and then not having these clear positions where they can upgrade at, that means the guys that you have there have to deliver. So I need to see Trey Turner take a stride forward this season. That is what I have my biggest eye on and what I would consider the biggest X factor for this entire season. Turner was better last year than he was his first year. There's no doubt about that. But what he hasn't been is the $300 million man he was signed to be. That when this roster was constructed, it was looked at as Turner to basically be the co-star to Bryce Harper. That was the hope there, to be a guy that is a fringe MVP candidate across Major League Baseball, and that guy has yet to arrive here in Philadelphia. So that is the number one guy that I'm looking like to take a step forward. Thankfully, Bryce Harper is going to be lockstep with him, as obviously an injury is avoided. But I do want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you had to pick one X factor for this Phillies season, let's see it below. So shout out to Bryce Harper for avoiding injury there. Hopefully no more scares for the remainder of spring training, as that was far too close to comfort in my mind there. But all we know is that he is okay, and we will roll with that from here. So once again, do want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments for your biggest X factor for this Phillies team. And once again, I want to remind you guys to make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. Just 28.4% of you guys watching these videos have subscribed just yet. It is almost the prime time of the Phillies season with some real baseball right around the corner. So we want as many of you a part of it as possible. Appreciate you for tuning in this video here. Make sure you're dropping a like, and I'll be back talking with you next time right here on Phillies Digest. Peace.